Let's start here, okay? What's the chichen? Oh, it's Dimacheki Namkai. Dimacheki Namkai, right? Am I right? Unproduced.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, sashimi, honey.
Sashimi,
Pagi, Joshi, Metotam, Rira, Blimshi, Ninde, Gembali, Sangye, Shindu, Mite, Owagi, Droku, Nanda, Shima, Chuparsho. Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kam Hiryatayami Chedam Toki Chonamba Jamchu Bardu Dagni Kapsuchi Daki Chenyen Gipe Sunamki Drola Penchir Sangye Druparsho Chedam Toki Chonamba Chanchu Bardu Dagni Kapsuchi Dagi Chenyen Gipe Sunamki Drola Penchir Sangye Druparsho Chedam Toki Chonamba Chanchu Bardu Dagni Kapsuchi Daki Chenyen Gipe Sunamki Drola Penchir Sangye Druparsho. So yesterday and the day before we were in Denver at a Young Presidents Organization conference, and they are. It's like a private club, and it's people under 50 who have, I don't know, so many $1 million in annual sales and so many employees. I just want you to know that your translations, sooner or later, they percolate up to those people, or down to those people. And we gave them a typical DCI Emptiness presentation in Karma, and at the beginning it was a hard sale because they were pretty tough guys and like petroleum and aircraft, and then by the end they were like teddy bears, and then they offered to the guy who's in charge of interconnecting all the YPOs in the world demanded to have dinner with us. And then he said he would like us to go all over the world and do this. And he said if you add up all the assets of YPO members, it would be the third largest country in the world, just behind the US and China. So it was really cool. And I just want you to know that that's where your translations are going eventually. They change people. And I think a couple of them are going to try changing their corporate strategy to more, or they're going to experiment with it, which is all we can ask, right? And but I thought you'd like to know that that's where your translations go. That's the goal. Change the behavior of the world. So it was really cool, and he wrote us a beautiful email the next day. So it looks really nice. So it was a couple of days well spent. We introduced them to Stanley and Allison as the Chinese, because we're trying to deal with them in China. They have branches in China, so we'll see. Okay, here we go. Please read. Let's start here, okay? A couple of lines above.
Madrugna.
Yeah.
Dumacheki Namka Churchen.
Good. Take space, which is an unchanging thing. Empty space. Takpa Yimba.
Yimata?
Yeah, you're 1 for 1. Where's your 2 girlfriends today?
One's at another house, and Kate's driving back up from from Phoenix.
Shedang. Kechima Mayimbe, Shita Yimbe. Okay, so this ma, don't get confused. Keichik means instant, and Keichik ma means something that only lasts for an instant. It's not feminine and it's not negative, although it may be feminine. Generally, in languages, feminine can be abstract nouns and things like that. I don't know why they're abstract, but ask Ben later. Okay. Makyamna, just because it's an existing thing and something that only lasts an instant doesn't mean it's what? Takpa, unchanging. Okay? By the way, this was that principle that we said that you can't define unchanging things in a negative way only because it would apply to non-existing things. So you have to add the word for existing. Okay? Makyamna, just because it's one thing which is instantaneous and not and also a thing, right? Doesn't mean it's takpa. Does mean it's takpa because that's a definition of unchanging. Okay? So basically his text is learning all the equipment to deal with emptiness. That's why it's called the key to emptiness sometimes. Okay. All right, please read. Takpa. Okay, good. We got through this, right? If it exists, it must be unchanging. And he took Namken. Omniscience. Takpa Yimbar. Nice, you're 2 for 2. Okay, you'll mess up on the next one. Are you telling me it's takpa, unchanging, because it does exist? Well, why do you say that? Well, I say it because you said it. Okay, if it exists, it must be unchanging. Kavake. So kavake is like sarcastic. You're the one who said that. You can use it with your wife. Okay, Madrumna, Namken Chechen. I disagree it exists. Yopa Yimbar. Nice, 3 for 3. Oh. What's the odds of that? 15%. Okay. Chetamje Musit Tope Tartuki. Kemba Yimbe Chair. Okay, here's new stuff, okay? He's defining omniscience. He's defining omniscience, okay? It is an existing thing because it's that ultimate, Tartuk means ultimate, knowing, which perceives directly all existing objects, okay? So so we have a definition for omniscience, okay? And he leaves it at that. Can you read here?
Kachignare, takpa yimbale lokpa yina. Takpa yimbale lokpa, takpa yimbale lokpa yimbe kyapser.
He's flipping pancakes early in the morning. Kachignare, takpa yimbale lokpa yina. If something is the opposite of takpa, which means okay, so keep that, you in this exercise you keep that here. Changing, something changing. Tapayim le lokpa equals changing. Tapayim le lokpa, flip. Unchanging, which makes it changing. Sorry. Changing, which means no.
I think in the end it's changing. If 3 flips.
Tapayim le lokpa means changing. Changing. It's a changing.
Yeah, changing.
Okay.
Changing.
If something is an unchanging, it's a changing. Okay?
No, what's a changing?
A changing thing which changes. It's okay.
I mean, sure.
It's just exercising. It's just a mental exercise. If something is unchanging, it's a changing.
Something is the opposite of unchanging, then it's...
Yeah, the English came out kind of weird too.
So it's a mitako.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, this might be what we're looking for. If something is changing, it must be the fact that changing things change. Let's see where he goes with it. I think that might be where he's going. Okay, let's take a coffee cup. It must be the fact that an unchanging is an unchanging thing. Sorry, it must be the fact that a changing thing is a changing thing. I'm hoping here he's going to go to the facts being unchanging. I'm hoping he's going there, because before he was flirting with the opposite. Okay? You all right? Just nod. When you're lost, nod.
The only thing that's confusing is there's not stating it differently than you stated it before, so why would we throw in the fact just now?
Because he just repeats the thing. Changing. It is a changing.
Oh, I see.
Okay? Changing is a fact or not?
I don't know. I still don't know what a changing is.
Okay, well let's go here.
It's a changing thing which is changing.
It is tapa yimale lopa. Yeah, there you go. It's unchanging.
It's the opposite of everything, which is unchanging. Talk about
What's tapa yimale lopa?
The opposite of everything.
Unchanging.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It's
changing.
It's changing.
Tapa yimale is changing.
Yeah.
So all Yimale Lopas are tapa.
Huh?
No.
Because it's the opposite of everything that's.
No, it's not a mimbale lopa. It's not a mayimale lopa, it's a yimbale lopa.
Right.
Anyway, let's say, Kalake.
It's still a Lopa.
I think we're going to get it here, Bumpa Chichen. Let's take a vase. Tapa yimbale lopa yimbata. That's easy, right? It is something which is the opposite of unchanging because it is something which is unchanging. Sorry, changing. Okay? If you disagree that it's changing, it is too the opposite of what's changing, unchanging, because it's not unchanging. That's how I'm doing it. I think this is where we want to go. Okay, I'm just skipping through the easy stuff. Let's take a coffee cup. This is where we want to go. Tapa yimle lopa, tapa yimle lopa mayimba. It is not changing. Okay? It is not unchanging.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Okay? It is not unchanging, am I right? It is not unchanging.
Okay.
Okay? No, okay, let's do it slower. Mayin, it is not. Not unchanging. It is not unchanging.
Could you say it's not?
Okay.
It is not a not unchanging, which is.
We don't know yet. We don't know. It depends on where it goes next.
And the Mayan distributes, right?
We're talking about a Bumpa?
I wouldn't say distributes. It
So-
is the combination of the two before. It applies to the combination of the two before.
Not unchanging.
Not unchanging means changing. Okay? Now whether changing is
A thing or a fact.
a fact or not, and whether a fact to him is unchanging, we don't know yet. But I hope he says it is unchanging.
Just 'cause that
The
would
fact that
involve
a changing, let's make it easy. The fact that the cup changes, is that unchanging?
it
No.
is.
Yeah, it's unchanging.
I mean, to me it is. I don't know where he's going to go. Let's see. He kind of was flirting with something else before. Tapa yimle lopa, tapa mayimle lopa yimle echa. Because tapa yimle lopa, the opposite of unchanging. Yeah, good. Is tapa mayimle lopa. Okay. The fact that something is unchanging is the opposite of all that's not unchanging, which is unchanging. You okay with that? It's very quiet. Maybe I shouldn't give you 2 days off. Let's do it slower. When you flip the pancake on unchanging, what do you get? Okay. Tapa yimle lopa. Tapa mayimle lopa yimle echa. Unchanging. Sorry.
Unchanging.
Changing is the opposite of unchanging. Sorry, it's the opposite of unchanging.
So that statement doesn't make sense.
This says changing is unchanging.
Right.
Okay? This says changing is unchanging.
Right.
Okay? Madrumna bumpa chinchan. Let's take coffee cup. Tapa Yimle Lopa, meaning changing, is to unchanging. Okay? Just as a fact, not connected to coffee cup actually. Okay, just by itself. Is
the fact of changingness.
yeah, it's the fact of something. Now don't forget you're not talking about when you say Tapa Yimbale Lopa, are you talking about Mitapa?
Yeah.
No.
Takpa
Apparently not.
Yimbalapa is Mitakpa.
Yeah, or when you flip something, is it the same as what it was before you flipped it?
Is everything that's
When you double flip something,
I don't know.
is the opposite of everything that's not the coffee cup equal to the coffee cup?
In this school it is.
Didn't we say it was like a chi and a chidra? You see what I mean? A drachi or a dunchi. You see, the dokpa, the double flip, is the concept of the thing. You know, maybe it's going there. I don't know. A double flipped coffee cup is not just a coffee cup anymore. It's the idea of a coffee cup. How's that? Which is important in the perception of emptiness, as we saw in DCI level 7. Okay, it's the chi and chichida. It's cup as opposed to egg cup. Okay, when you flip it twice, it becomes cup. Maybe. Okay.
We haven't seen yet.
Okay. So anyway, what's he say here? What's tapa imbe lopa? What do you get when you flip? When you flip, yeah, when you flip unchanging, you get changing. Okay.
Apparently not, right? You get the fact that it's changing.
Well, yeah, and then when you flip,
Which doesn't-
when you double flip, unchanging, what do you get?
Unchangingness.
Unchanging.
Yeah. So basically, this is saying unchanging is changing.
Or vice
And
versa.
changing is unchanging.
I'm sorry.
Right. Or the fact
Changing is unchanging.
the fact of changing is unchanging.
Yeah. Although
The root
Isn't there some English idiom like that? You know, the only thing that doesn't change is change.
yeah.
The only constant is
Change.
yeah.
It's basically saying that. Let's see where he goes. Okay, I'm not deciding till I see where he decides. I'll follow whatever he says. Tapa yimle lopa tapa yimbe che. What's that say?
Because it is the opposite of everything, because it's the opposite of everything which is an
Unchanging.
unchanging thing
Is
unchanging.
unchanging.
Mhm.
That part's easy.
Changing is unchanging.
But I wonder. Yeah, this is okay because that's essentially what he said here. Okay.
right.
If you disagree, let's take a coffee cup. Tapa yimle lopa tapa. Now, this is weird. Let's take a coffee cup. The sky is blue.
Let's take a coffee cup.
No, take a coffee cup. The sky is blue. Is it true?
Like coffee cup and the sky is.
No, think about it. Take a coffee cup.
Yeah.
The sky is blue.
So
Take a coffee cup. I'm sleepy this morning. Is it true or not?
No, it's not. I mean, it's supposed to be my.
It is true. I didn't say it about the coffee cup.
Right.
I think that's where he's going.
There's no.
Get to a
There's no
reason,
first
then it's
relationship.
association. Yeah,
I didn't propose a relationship.
there's just there's a one and a two.
I didn't propose a relationship yet.
There's no reason.
I said, take a coffee cup, the sky is blue.
Okay.
There's only an assertion, right?
I didn't say because. Nowhere in there did I say because.
There's no verbs.
I think there's no reason. It's just an assertion.
I got an okay from Ben Kramer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna.
That's all I had to do.
I mean,
Tapa yimata.
it's legal to put forth.
The opposite of tapa is takpa because it's the opposite of takpa. Madumna, let's take a coffee cup. Tapa yimle lopa yimbatal. Yeah, you see, this is where he went. If this was yimbatal, it would apply to the cup. Since it's yimbatal, it's just that the sky is blue. Take a coffee cup, the sky is blue.
Okay.
You have a problem with that?
Yeah,
You got a problem with that?
it's pretty bad.
Take a coffee cup.
I mean, how is that not?
The opposite of unchanging exists. Take a coffee cup. You ready? The opposite of changing exists. I didn't say because yet.
Are you trying to how are you not trying to ascribe that quality to the subject?
We didn't say it's well, It is a quality of the subject. It is true of the coffee cup that the sky is blue.
What? No, you don't get a high five for that.
It's true of every existing thing, and it's true of every non-existing thing that the sky is blue. You see?
No.
I don't
Never understood that.
Come
Told me that for
on.
years. I've been telling you this for 2 years.
Okay, so when there's a coffee cup, the sky's green. I mean, what do you want?
But it's not I'm gonna
Every fact in the universe applies to every other object in the universe. That's what he wants you to think about. Okay?
If you add the word when, I'm great. Like
It's
you just did.
implied.
Okay.
It's implied.
All right, fine.
Okay, you all right with that?
If I'm gonna.
If there's a fish in the ocean, then Christine Walsh is here.
Fine.
Because they're both, anyway, something like that. Take Christine Walsh, a fish is in the ocean.
A fish is
Is in the ocean.
Why?
We didn't give a reason yet.
Play.
Huh?
When there's a fish in the Walsh, then there's a fish.
Yeah, I mean, a fish in the ocean is a universal
That's
fact.
really true because they're both true.
And it applies to all objects in the
I'll
universe.
just say, but it's only
It's true of Jupiter that there's a fish in the Pacific.
Well, there is no fish in the ocean.
It really, I'll say it again. It's true about Jupiter, the planet Jupiter, that there's a fish in the Pacific Ocean.
Okay.
I mean, I like when there's a lot better.
When there's a planet Jupiter,
There's a fish in the ocean. That's true.
That's not true.
doesn't that imply that when there's no planet Jupiter, there'd be no fish in the ocean?
There happens to be, right now, take Jupiter, there's a fish in the Pacific Ocean. That's true. It's true.
There happens to be right now. Is that different than when?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say when. Anyway,
Yeah, so it's not true.
okay. Take Jupiter, there's a fish in the Pacific Ocean. I didn't say when. I didn't say anything about Jupiter yet.
So we're learning that there doesn't have to be a relationship between the subject and the assertion.
It's not a subject and assertion yet because it's not a syllogism yet.
No, that's
That's the first
I just said, look at Jupiter. There's a fish in the Pacific Ocean. I didn't say there's any connection
So it's
yet.
not an assertion.
I didn't know.
But
We use chichen. We use the word chichen,
and we also use
which
Tel.
normally indicates the start of a syllogism.
And Yip Artel
I
uses
said take. Yeah, I did say take Jupiter.
Yeah.
There's a fish in the Pacific.
Alright.
So if he said yin, we could be angry. He said yin, so he's just saying.
Yeah. He didn't say yin. He didn't say Jupiter is a fish in the Pacific Ocean. He just said take Jupiter. There is a fish in the Pacific Ocean.
Although yin is.
He didn't say
damn
take
ass.
Jupiter. It is a fish in the Pacific Ocean. He didn't say that. I mean that's
He may later in the
another
text.
but that's another question. Yeah, that's
Put
another
that off
question.
temporarily.
This is interesting. I mean, it's not bullshit. It's interesting. Take Nick. There's a fish in the Pacific Ocean.
So, but
Where do facts live? You
does
see,
it seem that we're
he might be going to the fact that facts are unchanging. I hope he's going there. Do you have a question?
Does he mean to be completely out of context, or are we misunderstanding it? Does he mean to be saying?
Well, let's see where he goes. Let's see if he ties them together. If he had said yin here, we'd be in trouble. Okay. I hope not. Bumba Chinchin. Let's take a coffee cup.
Wait, did we have it Sosumimba? Because then I'll feel better at least.
Well, okay, let's go here.
What did you say, Ben?
Take a coffee cup. Okay. It's true that changing things exist.
Or the fact of changing things exist.
It's true that changing things exist because it's true that things which are not unchanging exist. That's okay.
No, it's not.
The reason-
Now you have to apply that to the
No.
subject. You have to apply the cheer.
No, listen. Just listen to me. Take coffee cup. Okay. It's true that there are things in the universe which are not unchanging. Okay? Why? Because it's true that there are things in the universe which are not an unchanging thing.
So it's not a talk majug, even though the
What's the first relationship?
wouldn't you say it kind of fails the first relationship?
No.
Yeah, what's the first?
'Cause it doesn't-
In a universe where there's coffee cups, there is also the fact that there exist things which are not unchanging.
Okay. Okay.
Just think of it in the whole universe. You
Yeah.
know, this whole fact in the whole universe.
Right.
We're in a universe where there's a coffee cup. There also exists the fact that there are some things which are not unchanging.
So then I could say like, consider this table is an oblate spheroid because orange, and that would be okay.
If you said because oranges exist
Yeah.
on this planet at this time,
Fine.
I mean, last I checked.
Yeah. But that would be a capital majug, but it wouldn't be a talk majug.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah, it would be a capital majug because just because oranges exist doesn't make the Earth a certain shape.
No, it does. According to
It
this,
does.
it does.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
because
it
they
does.
exist.
Because it's a fact.
If you say
Yeah.
if you say true things, all true things prove all other true things.
Yeah.
According to
Yeah,
this.
truth.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah.
It's like saying
So that would be
ducks
a
are
correct
ducks.
If eggplant tastes bad,
Yeah.
then the sky's blue.
Yeah, and you can also say consider shoes if eggplant. Yeah.
No, the existence of shoes. You can't see shoes. Anyway, let's go. Let's go.
But he
Bumba
can say
chicken.
the existence of a coffee cup.
Let's take. Yeah, that's true. Let's take a coffee cup. Tapa maya mayabata. It is so true that there are things in the universe which are not unchanging because Gansaki dagme yimbecha. Because wow. Wow, that's a little difficult.
Yeah, just gonna jump there.
If it said you, I'd be more comfortable.
You pay cheer.
Oh no,
Is a bumba Kansaki dagme?
and that's not my feeling. No.
It is actually.
Yeah.
He's talking about Gansaki dagme as a fact.
Mm-hmm.
It is the fact that people don't come from themselves.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
It's the same as fish in the Pacific.
No.
It's the same as the sky is blue.
So do you think,
So
are you trans-
emptiness is black, 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 because black exists.
Huh?
Emptiness is
Emptiness
black,
is the
black,
fact that black is black. That's okay.
emptiness is the fact that
Black, black,
Take
black is
emptiness, black is black. That's okay so far.
So emptiness is
Consider emptiness, black is black.
Consider black. It's emptiness.
Why?
Because
Because sky is blue.
Yeah, because the sky's blue.
You could, well,
No,
you
should
can't
never
say
say
emptiness.
that.
You gotta
It's
say,
thrown off the tour for doing it.
it's an example of a thing in a universe where there's no self-existent people. That's what he's saying. Okay? It's an example of a thing in a universe where people don't come from their own side.
Okay.
It's like the sky's blue. Okay? Struggle with it. I mean, I'm just telling you what he said. I don't know.
How are you? how are
I'm
you-
trying to help you understand what he said.
How are you choosing Taka Mayimpa?
Let's take this coffee cup.
Okay.
Does it or does it not exist in a world where people don't come from themselves?
It does.
It does.
That's what he's saying.
But is he saying
It's a fact.
Is he saying it like it is something which is not an unchanging thing, or is he saying
Yeah,
it is
this yin,
unchangingness?
you see, don't forget, you
It's
can
not
take May
unchanging.
as the general lack of things in the universe.
Yeah.
In the same way that you took fish in the Pacific.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? So, are you ready? Take Nick, you know, he's a nice guy because the sky's blue, or something like that.
Okay.
I mean, you can have a fact, you know. Everything exists in a universe where people don't come from themselves. Even things which are not people. Okay, even coffee cups. Take coffee cups, you know, they're not, you can say anything that they are. They're not unchanging. Take coffee cups. They're not unchanging because they exist in a universe where people don't come from themselves.
Yeah. That's actually more tight than any of the other things we just.
Well, think of it that way. Think of it that way. And you have to translate it to reflect that. Good luck.
Make
Yeah,
it
yeah.
really easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just took Yopa. the sky is blue or something like that. And now we're just flipping it. We're just saying, you could say, take Nick, he's a nice guy because in the world there exists fish or something like that. But you could also say, take Nick, he's a nice guy because in the world there doesn't exist people who come from themselves. Okay.
The second one seems to relate a little.
I do see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying.
So,
but
Kawasaki dag me yin and Kawasaki dag me yin. Kawasaki dag mepa yin.
Same thing, right? Basically.
I don't know.
you can imagine a scenario.
I'm reading this one as in the universe. Did you want to say
I
something?
mean, you can imagine a scenario where someone's debating the Heart Sutra, and emptiness is form and form is emptiness, and someone gets their tukas handed to them for making a similar argument on the background. Like you couldn't say, oh well, form is emptiness, and say, no, you gotta understand that actually.
You could use Lunga Drupje.
Scriptural authority.
Hey, Nawantashi said so, I don't know. If you're from Daebong. Anyway, that's what it means. You cook it, okay? The sky, because the sky is blue.
It's a tough way to start our Monday morning.
Yeah, especially because it's not Monday. All right, please read.
Pretty sure.
Just because you had a weekend doesn't mean it's Monday.
Sky is blue.
The sky is blue.
Okay, here's a real Monday morning thing.
Kachignare, ngupo mayimba le lokpa yina, ngupo mayimba le lokpa yinde
Reduce those two elements to one word, okay? What is ngupo mayimba le lopa? What is ngupo mayimba le lopa?
It's just
It's noble.
yeah, they cancel each other out, so it would just be working thing. Right?
It's kind of ngupo, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's
Just
not.
noble. So far, it's just noble.
Double flip ngupo and then double flip that. Right?
Yes, it's still ngupo.
It's still ngupo. Let's say provisionally reshik, provisionally. Let's say it's ngupo. What's ngupo for somebody in the room who doesn't know what's a ngupo?
Anything that performs a function, a working
Yeah,
thing.
anything that does something. So there are certain employees who are not ngupos. Okay.
Functions. What you want them.
Ngupo mayam le lopa, you may count and say no. If something is a functioning thing, right? Okay? Then it is, and I think he's going here, the fact that a functioning thing is a functioning thing.
Yeah.
It is the fact that.
Yeah, because he had this yin here. Okay, it is the fact that a functioning thing is a functioning thing. Okay, if something is a functioning thing, like a car, because it uses gas, or it gets you someplace, then it must be the fact that a car is a car.
It's the yin ba that makes it into the fact.
Yeah, it is. This last one.
And is it? Yeah, okay.
I believe that's where it's going. Let's see. Dachichin, take sound. Are you telling me it's the fact that functioning things are functioning things? You okay?
Yeah. I mean,
Take the sound of my voice. It is the fact that functioning things are functioning things. Okay? Chichir. Because it is. Sorry, because it is the double flip of the double flip of functioning thing. Okay? I'm sorry. It is the double flip of what's. Yeah, it is the double flip of the double flip of thing, functioning thing. Okay? We're okay?
yeah. Yeah.
Or at least you've beaten all the fight out of us.
Kamake. You already agreed to that. If you don't agree, Ngopo mayim le lopa yimata. It is the opposite of it is a ngopo, right? It is the opposite of all that's not a functioning thing. It is the opposite of all that's not the opposite of all that's not a functioning thing. It is the opposite of all that's not the opposite of all that's not a functioning thing.
Once again,
Which is just a double flip.
So he's actually not changing what he's saying.
Because it is a functioning thing.
So
No
should
point
I
in
say
mentioning
it is to not the opposite of anything, which is not the opposite?
Yimbata, we believe it. It is so.
But it should be.
He translated it correctly.
It's okay. It's not.
Shouldn't that too be a not?
Yeah, shouldn't it be not?
It is not the opposite of
My
anything,
yin
which
is
is
my
not.
yin.
Right.
Might have to check further for that.
No,
reason.
Yimbarta.
Oh, I see.
Not
I
mine.
think it's okay so far.
Then you'd have to throw in a not. It is to not, I think.
No.
Ropo ma
No,
yimpale
it is
lo
too.
It's just mayimale lopa. Two double flips. Mayim, yeah. Very eloquently expressed. You gotta do the mayimale lopa fast. Then you'll be alright. Lopa, mayimale lopa,
But how, I understand what word is saying. How is it that one of the ma yimpale lokpas is something that's not the opposite, and one of the ma yimpale lokpas is something that is the opposite? I thought a yimpale lokpa would be the opposite.
Because he said no work.
Oh, no work. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which is maybe not legal. We have to look at it.
Oh, that's cool.
But I'm going on because I'm, yeah.
Logically,
Ngopo
this
yimbiche.
works out.
It is a double flip of ngopo because it's a ngopo.
Because it says no.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
It's a double flip. It's a double flip. Okay.
I think they just put these in to confuse guys from Sarah trying to read it.
You mean
Like,
Sarah
this section's
J?
all
Sarah
wrong,
J.
you know,
You
they'll
mean.
think. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
just throw us off. Like, yeah, no, they think that. Somehow we're just not getting it.
It's hard to know if you get Dr. Chen. Ngopo mayambale lopo mayambata. No, it's not the fact that cars are cars. No, it's not the fact that cars are cars. Because ngopo mayambale lopo ngopo yimale lopo. Because it's the fact that cars are not cars. Because it's the fact that cars are the fact that they're not functioning. Let's see. Maduna Dachichin. It is the opposite. Yeah. Yeah. The opposite, the double flip of ngopo is not changing.
Right.
Right.
Wait a minute. No, that doesn't make sense.
Oh, I see.
The double flip.
Because it's a fact.
Because it's a fact.
Oh, right, that's right.
All flipped.
Let's see if he's going that
That
way.
seems to be what's happening.
Ngopo mayimble lopo ngopo mayimbe chun. Yeah, here we are. We reached the idea in the second school of Buddhism that says that the opposite of all that a thing is not is a chi.
Is it cheat? Right.
Chitsen. They call it chitsen. Say chitsen. In their school, they call it chitsen or rongtsen. So this is the rongtsen. This is cup. And then the chitsen, or the concept, is the opposite of all that's not the cup. And the second one is unchanging. It's a archetype. Archetypes don't change. I think that's where they're going. Okay. Maduna dachichen. Lopo mayle lopo lopo mayamata. The opposite of all thing is not a changing thing. It's not a functioning thing.
Right.
Okay. Because lopo mayamile lopa tapa yamichir. So this is where we wanted to go this whole time. Okay. The opposite of all thing is not. It's not changing. It's an archetype.
Yeah, right.
It's a perfect picture. It's your mom's spoons. It's the spoons in your mother's house that are correct spoons. And the spoons, every spoon you ever saw after that was not quite right. That's how C.S. Lewis puts it. Okay.
That's the fishing
Fish
knife.
knife?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a fish knife. Or something like that.
So if your archetypes change from life to life, that just means that the last one wore out and the new one started, changed, or a new one came into
I have a
existence.
feeling archetypes don't change much life to life.
Much.
Yeah. Okay, Madumna, let's take a functioning thing. The opposite of all that is not is an unchanging thing. The opposite of all that is not is an unchanging thing. Because it's a case where we have flipped everything that a thing is not. Because it's a case where we have flipped everything that a thing is not.
Okay.
When you say kya, it means it is a case of where we have flipped everything a thing is not.
Wow.
Anytime you flip everything a thing is not, that thing you come up with, the conclusion, the thing you derive, is unchanging.
Every
It's a chitsen.
time you flip anything?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how did you say?
Well, it should exist, right? I
anytime
guess.
you flip an existing thing, you get an unchanging thing.
Anytime you flip the opposite of an existing thing, you come up with a thing which is unchanging. You get an archetype. You get a mental picture,
Chitsen is the archetype.
which is perfect and it never changes.
Raxen is the manifestation.
It's perfect and it never changes. And I like to call it the spoons that your mother had in her house. You know, you go to your friend's house when you're 6 years old and you say, your spoons are not quite right. This is not a spoon. You ask your friend's mom, what's that? And she says it's a spoon. And something in your mind says, not really. Because it's not bent the way spoons are. Because your mom put the spoon in the garbage disposal. All the spoons in my house were garbage disposal spoons because we couldn't afford to buy new ones after we ground them up in the garbage. Okay. Everyone's very quiet.
So how does this?
Hopefully we'll get to a better, easier text. I don't mean a better text. What? By the way, the idea about chitsens being the flip of what they're not is very powerful. It's very important about emptiness, to understand emptiness. That's my punishment. Okay. Adam.
Rang you look la, yipama yimba le lok patang, yipa yimba niten shit yimbe yin kap nyam yinte, yipama yimba le lok pa yina, yipa yin pe kap, yipa yin yina, yipama yimba le lok pa yin pe kap pe
Wow.
Jeez, thanks.
Is it okay? Is it not clear? Let's go slow. What's wrong, Luke? Yeah, now here's what we really believe. You can say it that way. I mean, you shouldn't translate it that way, but it's what it means. Yepa mayam le lopa. What's yepa mayam le lopa? Equals the archetype of yepa. I guess we have to say now. The archetype of yepa. Existence as a concept.
Is that going to be acceptable to put in the translation?
That's your problem.
Because it's not, it won't be clear otherwise. Yeah.
Well, I think you have to leave it unclear. I wouldn't start adding words because you'll get in trouble later.
We could definitely put
The opposite of all this, not existence.
Okay.
Never forget that yopa can mean an example of an existing thing. So unfortunately, there'll always be an ambiguity here. Okay.
So which way would you go, Gashna?
I would just call it existence. The opposite of all that is non-existent. Existence.
Existence.
Yeah. I wouldn't say an existing thing.
Or existent. Yeah.
I wouldn't say an existent because we don't say that anyway.
Or just
Nobody,
existent.
but only in Buddhist translations do you see this word. Yepa yemba ni yin kap nyam. Denchig yin kap nyam. They are the same thing.
Oh, and yumba
And they have the same. The two sets are equal.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. So that's quite clear, actually. That's helpful. That he is saying the fact that existing things are like the fact that there are existing things is the same as the
Well,
Well, that's a problem.
he said they mean the same thing, and their sets are equal.
Equal sets.
Does that raise a problem for what we've been saying all along?
It seems to. I mean, it seems like it could. Let's see where he goes. Yupa mayamle lopa yina. Yupa yimbe kya.
It's not a dinchi anymore.
Yeah, it still is.
If something is the opposite of all that is non-existent, okay, it must be existence. But be careful, because there's two ways you could translate yupa here.
Right.
Somebody give me the two.
Existence or inexistent.
Or existing.
Or
thing.
an
Yeah,
existing
right.
thing which exists.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it could be existence,
Mhm.
or it could be it exists.
Okay.
Okay, so I take Yoba Yumba as well as Yoba Yumba to be like a thing being existing.
It could be. I'm just saying you could read it either way.
Yoba as
And
applied to a thing.
You would have to study his whole section and see which way to go.
Okay.
You know, I'll say the ambiguity again. If something is the opposite of everything that exists, right?
Or the opposite of that.
Yeah. If something is not the opposite of everything that exists, then either you can say it exists, or you can say it is existence. Okay. And you have to figure out which one.
And it's a kya, so it must.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Yopa yena, yopa mayima le lopa yemi kemi echa. So this seems to say, yeah. Normally, yopa yena would mean if something exists, if something is an existing thing. Okay. It normally you wouldn't translate this as if something is all existing things. Okay. Okay.
Right.
You all right with that? Okay. Yopa mayima le lopa yemi kemi. This reminds me of sitting in graduate classes when I was a freshman. It's like, I didn't understand anything they're talking about. Oh, sorry. What's that say? The opposite of. Yeah, the opposite of existence, right? Not mimba, not mayimba. Just the opposite. What? Single flip. Single flip. Okay, take existing things, flip it once. You get things that don't exist. And yupa mayimba yin kyap nyam, equal sets. They say equal pervasion or something like that, and it sounds like two sex offenders or something. Perversion? I mean, it just sounds weird. You don't say, try that on a waiter, you know. Is the oatmeal and the hot cereals here equal provision? Meaning is the only hot cereal here oatmeal? But he's not gonna look at you like you're crazy.
5 minutes.
All right. Yapa yimbe lopa yina. If something is the opposite of everything which exists, then it must be something which is not existing. Okay, got it? Yapa mayina. If something doesn't exist, it must be the opposite of all that does exist. Okay? Kabe echa. Dag me tamze la ring da. Say, this is an idiom for Adam. Okay, say ring da. Heavy prenasal. I don't know why. It almost comes out sounding like ring. Ring da. Okay. Ring da means follows the same pattern. Follows the same pattern. It's an idiom. Okay. You okay? Do you need something?
I was just wondering what the date is, 17th or 18th. 18th.
Whoa, time flies. Ring da means follow the same pattern. Okay. What? Dogme tamche. That's a slick way to say all existing things. Okay? If something doesn't come from itself, it follows the same pattern. He could have said, if something exists, it follows the same pattern. So he's just being cute.
Dogma is bigger in the monastery. Like they'll say rabbit with horns is included in Dogma.
Maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be. Non-existence is down there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe.
He's covered everything this way.
Yeah. Okay, we do have a little time, right?
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Okay, let's just go. I didn't check past here, but it's okay. Dopang Munzin, Kim Namsha. So normally Ngunzin means to identify. Okay, identifying what's a dopa. Okay, so this is not called the presentation on dopas, it's called the presentation on identifying dopas. And as far as I remember, dopa is the same as Mayambale Lopa.
Yeah, right.
Okay, but I haven't studied it for 40 years or something, 50 years, 45 years. So anyway, okay. Let's go into it and see where we are. Please read.
Kachignare, Mopoi Shido Yina, Mopoi Dopa Yimbe Kyapsana.
Okay, open vowel and prenasal. Shindo. Shindo.
Shindo.
Okay, so yeah, like Ganden Monastery.
Shindo.
Okay. Ganden is also LDAN. Okay. So if something is the Shidok of Ngopo, it must be the Dopa of Ngopo. Okay. I don't know what's a Shidok.
Okay.
Let's keep going and see. Okay. I take Dopa as the opposite of all that's not. But I don't know what's Shidok. Let's see where it goes. It must be wrong, right? Okay. Maybe Shidok means Rangten, in which case this would be wrong. You okay with that?
That makes sense.
Let's take the actual cup. It's not the archetype of the cup. Okay? That's about the only place it could be going, I think. Okay? So it must mean Shindo. Shindo must mean the actual cup. The basis before the flipping.
The
So
thing that you
that's
have
the,
to-
yeah, pre-flip.
Yeah, the
Pre-flip cup.
thing to be flipped.
Is that cup?
And it should be true that it can never be the opposite of all that's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would make sense. Then Shindo must be Rangten. Must be the cup itself before you flip it, and not the archetype of the cup. It must be an example of a cup. It must be a real example of a cup, a manifest example of a cup, a manifestation of cup as an archetype. Sometimes I call Rangten manifestation and I call Shitsen archetype. Okay,
It's 7:40.
definitely won't pass the waiter test.
Probably better than
Is this a manifestation of a hamburger, or is this an archetype of a hamburger? You're talking about a black bean burger.
You say manifestation.
Okay, we'll stop there. Okay. Good luck, Adam.
Cool.
He's like stunned. Yeah.
sleepless. I'm
Anyway, I'll just say this about all of what we just did. It's not just stupid. There's some profound connection to emptiness. There's some profound connection to emptiness, okay? If you can live with that for a while, he's fortunate because he's gonna have to deal with it. You're gonna forget it in 5 minutes. But he's lucky because he's gonna have to wrestle with this the rest of his life. People ask him about this stuff. And that's a great way to slide into the direct possession emptiness. So he's lucky to have this weird text. Okay. Puki Joshi Meto Tram Rira Blinshi Ninde Gempadi Sangye Shindu Minte Uargi Doku Namda Shingla Juparsho Di kewo kun, sunam yeshe zazok shing, sunam yeshe le jungwe, dampar kunyi topar sho. Shogi, shogi, shogi.